Hey everyone, I'm Nick, and welcome to the channel. Now this, if you've watched the channel before, you'll recognize is my 2007 supercharged Range Rover. I bought it at Copart totaled, fixed it back up, got it back on the road, and I've been enjoying it ever since. One of the upgrades I did recently was to add a nav toolbox that adds Android Auto and Apple CarPlay compatibility to the navigation screen, and that has been great. But I've noticed that I haven't been getting any audio out of my driver door, and that's not ideal. So today we're going to figure out what's going on and fix it. All right, let me show you the issue I'm having. Okay, balance and fader. Now if I go to the front, it's still here, but as I move to the driver's side, I'm only getting audio from the center speaker on the driver door. Nothing here, nothing here, and nothing down there. So that's less than ideal after going through the effort of setting up the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay compatibility. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the door panel and check the connections for all three speakers. There might be a harness that's disconnected in here or something came loose, and we'll find out what's going on. So let's get to it. All right, so we've actually already removed one of these panels on this truck. We did the passenger side when we replaced the broken window, and this time we're doing this side. So it's the same thing, 4 screws. We've got one behind this cover here, one back here, one here, and one here. Okay, the 3 here are T20, and I think this one's a little bigger. You have a relatively short one here, and a long one on the outside, and another long one right here. And then this one is, let's see, oh, missing. Not ideal. Okay, so someone has been in here before. All right, well, interesting. All right, so what we have to do now is pop the clips out. They go down the side here, across and back up. And then we'll have to lift it up and forward, or towards us, and disconnect the harness for the controls, speakers, and the cable for the door handle. Oh yeah, there's like paint marks on the paint from whatever tool they used when they got in here. Probably a metal tool. That's no fun. Oh, okay. Felt like there were not a lot of clips in here. Wow, there's like, one's broken, 2 are missing. We'll find out. Okay, let's lift this up. And then we want to go straight up to clear the lock. Whew, okay. Yeah, we've got a bunch of broken clips here. So that is what clips into the door handle. Down here, the clips right here. On this side we have missing clips. So let's take a look here. Try to find out what happened to the audio. Let's walk through the connections here. So we have our light in the door. Got our mid speaker, one little plug at the top, which is for the mirror controls. This one for the main module for the windows. Another one right here. So these work by releasing this here. You push down here, pull the cam out. And for this one, this black piece pulls out. You could use a trim tool to pull it outwards, then it'll come off. All right, so we can see here all the plugs are in place. That's in place. This looks fine. So they're all there. Speaker here looks fine too. So I don't know what's going on. I was worried this might be the case, because if all the speakers are plugged in and fine, is the issue the amplifier, which would be less fun. I was hoping to find something unplugged that would have been nice and easy. That's not always how it goes. All right, so since the door panel doesn't seem to be the issue and the wiring seems fine in here, next step is going to be to see if it's at the amp. I mean, I might have been able to check that first, but that's okay. So I think I'm going to connect all this back up. I mean, I'll hang the door back on so I have easy access, and keep moving from there. Okay, that's good for now. Okay, so a new development I've realized is I don't have any sound output from the whole left side. So that's interesting. What I'm going to test now is to see if the radio plays through this, and if the radio works, that means that it might be an issue with my install on my aftermarket unit or the aux input. So let's see. Well, I feel silly. All right, well that works. Okay, so exhaust your options before taking things apart. Okay, let's test the aux input. Nothing here. Okay, I have found the culprit. If I press the aux cable here, it comes out that. You'll hear the difference here. Okay. It feels like it goes in. Maybe the port's dirty? It's just a little finicky. Okay, the jack itself is a little loose in here. So I don't know if it's from time, getting plugged in and out over time. All right, well, the next thing we're gonna do is figure out how to get in here and tweak the aux port. So the way this works is our left channel is the tip, our right channel is the second ring, and then our ground is the bottom part. And we're interested in the left because the driver door and the rear driver door are both out most of the time. So that means in there's a little contact that's supposed to touch this that is not doing that. The first thing I'm going to try is to spray some contact cleaner in there. And I've got a Q-tip somewhere right here I'm going to try to use. So I'm not sure it's going to be this, but it looks like what that residue there is glue. I think the previous owner may have glued stuff. But you can see there that little brass colored, like goldish colored thing. That's one of the contacts. And on the other side, same thing. So what I'm going to try to do is reach in and see if I can use a pick to pull it out. And if that doesn't work, we'll actually take this apart and try to get to the inside of the connector from the back. All right, so what I've done to test this out is I've put the fader or the balance all the way to the left so that I can hear when it works and when it doesn't. Gotta do this really carefully. I feel like I would need something much thinner. Okay, well, that may be easier than I thought. This just clips out. So I pulled this pulls straight back. Ooh, it's a little dirty. Let's look in here. Okay, there's a connector right here. This is the module itself. All right, let's see in here. Okay, so it screws in with 3 T somethings. Let's see. T10, okay. The module's in there. Okay, I think this module may come off with a screw here and a screw here, which are, I think, T20s. So I turned the power off for now because there's the 2 outlets here. I don't want to short them accidentally. So right here, we have 1 screw, and then on the other side, we also have another one in the same spot, just on the opposite side. So next, this piece actually attaches to the same bracket that loops up under this and that holds these 2 side panels on. So we have to remove this, which means removing the lid as well. So we'll do that next. So right here and on the other side, we have 2 Torx screws holding the lid in place. So I'm gonna go move my passenger seat so I can access the other side as well. And these are T30, probably. Let's see. Yep, T30. Is it actually coming out? That feels like it's not going anywhere. This one is also not turning. Interesting. What are we gonna do? It turns out this is essentially like a cap and a screw. It's a one long piece. So as I was turning on one side, the other side was turning right here. Now that we know that, I've got another T30 here. I'll hold that side in. Oh, never mind. Okay, so there's a long rod here with threads in it. And on the other side, it's like a screw. And then this is the other side here. So essentially, this is like sandwiched like that. So next right here, we have a little strut, and that is held on with a T20 screw. So right in here, it's a T20. So we're gonna undo that, and that will let us remove this whole assembly, I think. Wait, are there caps on here? Yep. Do need to remove that cap here. That screw looks like this here. Now what we need to do next is in here, you'll see the pivot there, and there's like two squared off pieces, and we have to squeeze those together. So we have to kind of squeeze those two tabs in. Yep, okay, got one. So what I did is I pushed these sides in and then slid the pin outwards. So you'll probably see those two ears, and we want to squeeze them in so they can come out. And we'll do the same thing on this side. On this side, they will go out. They'll pull out that way. They may rotate in there. Ow! Oh, I stabbed my finger. Ow! Be careful. Got it. Oof. So it goes squishy side in. So the side where these can come together goes inward towards the center. And now we can move this forward. Yay! Woohoo! All right. This has to unclip. So this cover here can just clip off. We're not going to take it off all the way because this is clipped. There's like two sensors in here. But if we flip this up right here, here, and here, we have a couple of T20 screws, which will allow us to remove the rest of this panel. All right. While I'm here, I'm gonna remove that little module. Okay, this is the AUX module. You can see it's also the RCA plugs for the multimedia input if you have the rear entertainment. So that would be the input 1, input 2, video left, right kind of thing. Yeah, red, white, yellow, red, white, yellow, it's all labeled. And this is the component we have to repair, I guess. So all this is held on with T10 screws. So you want to be careful you don't strip these out. Now I gotta do some surgery on this, or potentially desolder it and put a new one in, but we'll see. I think if I can open it up, I can fix it. So we'll see what we can do. So what's nice about this module is that when it's installed, this is the part that sticks out. So we can actually test this without putting it back into place. So we can just plug it in, put the connector here, turn on the car, plug in our aux jack, and test it out before we reassemble. So that's what we're gonna do. But first, we're going to open this up. So as you can see right here, there's a little catch. I think that is like a cover up top. And same thing on the other side behind that connector. So I'm gonna try to release those little tabs. And once that's done, this cover should come off and we should be able to adjust those little contacts inside. So we wanna adjust the bottom one that touches the tip. Let's get this opened up. It's got some really small screwdrivers here. Really thin, like for glasses. And I don't really think this is designed to be taken apart, honestly. Got it. Okay, so this is what we're working with. So this fits in here. It's supposed to click in. And it looks like, for whatever reason, the contact on this one wasn't being made properly. So I don't know if this spring needs to be pushed in or something. I set everything to come out of the left speaker so I can hear if it works or not. Let's plug this in. So clearly there's still an issue here. It almost looks like, see here, there's this contact for the right channel, and right here there's a little vertical one, and I think if the left channel tip touches that, it doesn't work. This spring, I think this potentially needs to be able to push further, push it over, and then we'll see. So it might be a little hard to see where you need to test it out, but in here, so on the left side here, below this, there's a little plastic guide that's supposed to essentially, I think, guide the jack and keep it off of this vertical piece here. And it looks like it had popped out of place. So I'm going to go test it in the truck and see if that helps. I think what happens is it's supposed to go in and then be like diverted into the center so that the tip doesn't touch that contact in there and only touches this. So we have our right channel, left channel, and it's held off of that second post here. And then when the tip touches this, it pushes that off of this, and that works too. Yes, it worked! There we go. We're gonna pop that cover back on. Okay, so you see all those grooves. We have to make sure we line them up properly. So that this needs to be vertical here. I think that needs to be vertical back there. I should have marked which side was which. It looks like I got it in. I have to plug it in and see if it worked. Okay, moment of truth. There we go. Okay, it's not fixed. Alright. Then I tried taping off the extra blades in the plug, which it turns out are grounds, as we'll see later. And after that, I also tried reshaping the contacts. Nope. Still no. That's that pin that's supposed to align it. And you can kind of see it. It kind of sits in this way, but if it was straight, it would work. So. Oh, it's even worse. Alright, so since I was not able to repair this, my new plan is to hardwire a 3.5mm jack that will live inside the center console so that if I have passengers in the back, they can't unplug my Android Auto and Apple CarPlay box, but it'll still be accessible under the plastic cover at the bottom. The other option I would suggest is getting a used panel, maybe on eBay or at a junkyard, and replace this module, but I'll just be hardwiring this in and I'll be good to go. So I've drilled a hole right here. It's a 3/16 bit to fit this through, and that'll be able to come onto here and get soldered in. Now I've drawn this up and checked the pins. The 3 center pins here are grounds. This is our left pin and this is our right pin. Our ground is black, left is white, red is right. I'm going to test out a battery powered soldering iron. Hopefully that'll work well. Alright, I also have the included solder sucker. Yeah, that worked. Okay. Just gotta get the others. Look at that little solder plug. Yeah, still attached a little bit. I'm gonna tin these terminals. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna start it from the bottom. We're looking at left, ground, and right. So I'll start on the right, so red wire over here. Oh, damn it! I was afraid of it. Oh, I forgot to thread it through here. Okay. All right, let's go test this out. And if it works, I can put a dab of hot glue in here and make sure this doesn't move too much. and maybe another one right here so it doesn't yank out. So, okay, we'll plug. Actually, I won't need the right angle plug anymore because it won't be outside. So I'll just plug that side in. We're gonna plug this in here, plug this in here, and give it a whirl. Hey, listen to this. All right, that's way better. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna unplug this, plug that, and we're gonna get the hot glue gun, put a little dab on here so these don't get pulled out, and a little dab on here once it's in place, and we'll be good to go. Not very elegant. Probably don't need this much. Not exactly a hot glue artist. Might be overkill, but at least it won't go anywhere. Pop this back in. It's locked in. I'll put a little bit of glue here. Ultimately, it's not supposed to move much once it's in place, but it's good to have a little peace of mind. All right, let's test it one more time. And so all this extension, or this new plug, will be behind this panel here. So we'll just be able to pop this panel off, and then, you know, we could unplug it, plug something else in, check the connection, anything like that. And if I want to run that extension wire from the nav toolbox, I can do that too. Yep, still works. It sounds a lot better too because we're actually getting both channels. A good outcome. This does mean that you'll just have an opening here, so I might tape over it, but ultimately this will stay closed like 99% of the time. So I might tape over this so things don't fall in. Now we can start putting things back together. So I'm gonna unplug these. And if you're wondering why there were 2 extra pins that are grounds, the purpose is so that when nothing's plugged in, you don't get the hum. But now since something's always gonna be plugged in, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna screw this back into here, right there. Actually, if you wanna tape it from the inside, now is the time. I wonder if I could get a little rubber plug maybe, so you don't want stuff falling in. Put one piece of tape inside the adhesive part so that it won't be sticky from the top. There we go. That is blanked off there without something sticky to catch everything. Then we can tape over the top. Nice and secure. Actually, while I'm here, I'll plug this back in. There we go. Now I can bring this back up the top here. And these are the screws with the washers built in, and they're T20s. That snaps back on there. This lives down here. We can screw in the 2 other screws down here. And the same thing on the other side. I guess I could even put the panel back on. Boom. Awesome. Yeah, that's perfect. The wire just comes in right here. Tucks in. And if we really need to, just pop it out. All right, now we just have to put this back together, realign this. What we need to do is reconnect this little strut right here with the flat screw here. Actually, I think I'll put these pins back in. Remember these. Now we just have to put in the long pin back in here, or hinge. So screw on one side, pin on the other that goes through those other pins put together earlier. Before I forget, I think I should put these on. There we go. Now we can put that in here, get it started. It's just snug. And we're good. All right, that looks great. Look at that. Actually, it looks even cleaner than before. And that is the aux input modified and repaired. Nice. So working on this kind of reminded me that I need to make sure I'm a little bit more thorough before I start opening things up. Though I guess taking the door panel off did show me that it's missing a bunch of clips, so I'm going to address that anyway. I'm really looking forward to driving around with all the speakers working because the Harman Kardon system in this truck is really nice. But there's one other thing that's been bothering me. Sometimes if I leave it parked too long, the battery drains and it's really annoying. So next time we're going to figure out where this battery drain's coming from and see if we can fix it. So subscribe if you don't want to miss it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.